So it looks like the video is going to work. That's good. So I'm Julia Lamb, as Maya said, and I'm actually talking about textiles. And textiles is not just spinning and weaving, it is everything that has to do with fiber. So I actually brought a little bit of what I do. So I started spinning and weaving when I was about 8. Started with my great-grandma, and she's a member of the Settlers Organization. And from there, it just kind of took off. I applied to Conner Prairie when I was 10, and I've been there ever since. And as you can see in the video, spinning is anything that is twisting fiber into yarn. And then weaving is anything that you use with that fiber. It's pretty simple. Everyone thinks it's some big thing, the Sleeping Beauty, and everything that you see from that, but it's really not complicated. Weaving is just moving your feet and your hands at the same time. And there are a lot of terms and things, and it seems scarier than it is. But if 10 and 11-year-olds can do it, just about anybody can. This is a little diagram of what's going on when you weave. It's called warp and weft. Essentially, it's just the strings that go up and down. Now, weaving and textiles have been a huge part of the world since about 500 AD. That's when the first people decided to start spinning, and it was in India. It went through the ages, and it has gone from ancient Egypt, where people were drop spinning on rocks to make linen cloths, to where we are today. And about 50 years ago, that woman in blue named Sue Payne became the first youth volunteer at Conner Prairie. And she started the youth sheep shawl competition. And that's my great-grandma there who got me started. That's me about 8 years ago. It was my first sheep to shawl competition. I know that sounds like a lot, but it essentially is our chance to show off our skills. We have 4 hours to card, spin, ply, and weave a scarf, which is brushing and spinning and making stronger wool. That's my first spinning wheel that I bought myself. I saved up about $400 and bought that. This is the second year that I was in the sheep to shawl competition. We took home second place that year, and I was about 11. We get to dress up and do fun themes, fun costumes. It's always been a big deal for everybody. It's a chance to be creative, a chance to design, and it's a chance for leadership. When I'm not at Conner Prairie, I do a lot of outside work at the Johnny Appleseed Festival in Fort Wayne. I've done work with the trustees board at Conner Prairie. I've taught college classes at the Pyramids, the design school there, and I've done, this is another one of the competitions I've done. This is the year we took first place. I was the plier that year, which is a really important position on the team. It's quality control, it's the co-captain, and it's a pretty big deal. That right there is called the great wheel, and keep that in mind because you'll see it again later. It is a 200-year-old wheel that I get to spin on when I go to the Johnny Appleseed Festival. This is my 4th competition, and that's the scarf that we made. My great-grandma bought it for about $600. All of the donations that come into the youth volunteer program for spinning are done by the scarves that we sell at the end of our competitions. This is my first one that I bought, and this is the year I learned how to weave. And that changed my life in so many ways. Spinning was huge in discipline, but nothing prepared me for what weaving was going to be like. This is the first year that I got to really be with my sister and help her grow. And it's also the first year that I was a captain. That meant that I got to select my team of 7 kids and teach them how to spin, teach them how to ply, and help everybody get to where we need to be. This is the moment that we cut our scarf off of the loom. I designed the pattern, I dyed the colors, and I picked the theme and the costumes, and I did all of the hard work there. And that boy right there in the black, that's Devin, he was my co-captain. He did all the heavy lifting on the other end. While I was focused and I was weaving, he was making sure everybody stayed in line. He was doing quality control, he was the plier like I mentioned earlier. That was our scarf, and we took home 7th place for my first year as captain. And then we had a little bit of COVID that happened, and I had to take a break. I got to feel like a princess in that moment. We're walking outside the state fair, and people were noticing us, and this was the first event I did after COVID. I got to be at the Johnny Appleseed Festival. We had a professional photographer come, and it was really, really interesting to see that happen. And then this is my favorite event that I've done for Conner Prairie. My theme was Candyland. This was the year that I was a sole captain. It's my last year, and it was a huge deal. This happened in August, a couple months ago. And that was my amazing co-captain, Layla. She is so sweet, and she was amazing and helped me so much. And we won first place. I attempted a pattern that had never been attempted before. It's called an undulating twill. And my mom ended up buying the scarf, and it was a big deal. This is us thanking Sue for everything that she does for us 100 youth and for the 38 kids that are in the spinning program, and how she's always there for us and she watches us. That's all of us who competed this year. My sister competed too. Now this is me when I was 10 and me last year. I got to take my senior pictures on the grounds of Conner Prairie, where I grew up. That's that spinning wheel that I stood by when I was 10, and I've grown a little bit. I was always the shortest one on the team, and it was really cool to see now watching the shortest ones on the team grow and not having to be the little one anymore. My little sister got to be the little one, and I got to help her, and there she is. We have some really great traditions with the turkey legs like you saw. I made some great friends. That's Layla. And my best friend in the program is Lily, and then the next one will be Hannah. And we got so close, spending all that time together. And really, the biggest thing that I learned from spinning, I learned discipline, I learned focus, I learned patience and practice. I grew up around people that were supporting me, and it's not just the act of spinning. I got to learn how to interact with the public and how to public speak and teach people what I want to say without having to worry that I'm not saying the right things. And I built really close relationships with the people who helped me, like Sue. She was always there for me, and I learned that the most important thing that you can do sometimes is to listen. And that has been my experience with spinning and with textiles. And so next time you are gonna put on a shirt or pick out a piece of clothes, think about how it's not just something that you buy at the store, and there's a long process for how it gets there.